This is the Mass Casualty Crimes Team EOC Representative Supplemental Webinar. This webinar is meant for those individuals who will be acting as the San Francisco Victim Services Division of the District Attorney's Office representative in the Emergency Operations Center in the case of a mass casualty crime. The learning objectives of this webinar are we are going to review the alert process for mass casualty crimes. This includes how we're going to coordinate with the various agencies that can activate the Mass Casualty Crimes Team. We're also going to do an overview of the notification process for how the EOC representative will notify the Mass Casualty Crimes Team if and when we are activated.
Receiving the alert. A notification of an incident could come through a text, a call, and/or an email. Note, the notification may be for an event that our office does not respond to, such as a natural disaster. It is your responsibility as the EOC representative to discern which incidences our team will deploy to.
It may be helpful to review the scope of our team before you decide whether or not our team will respond to an incident. As a reminder, our office responds when there is a single criminal incident in which a person or multiple people commit a crime that intends to result in the death of 3 or more people. This could also be an incident of criminal negligence that may initially appear as an accident, but in actuality is a crime.
Our team does not self-deploy. If you hear of an incident through the news but have not received an official alert, wait until you are notified by an activating agency. You can prepare to deploy, but do not respond to the incident scene without official activation.
In order to activate the Mass Casualty Crimes Response Team, you'll want to send a regroup message to the team to request deployment availability. In the message to the team, let the advocates know that they need to respond within 15 minutes with their immediate and short-term availability to deploy. Once the staff have given their availability, choose the specific staff whose skills and location match the needs of the incident response. Let those folks who will not be deploying know that they will not be responding in that first deployment. As the EOC representative, it's your job to assign the first deployment roles. This includes the role of site manager if applicable, team lead for the Victim Services Mass Casualty Crimes Team, and dog handlers. Please refer to the Crisis Response Team roster for a list of team members who have been trained as site managers and team leads, team members who are trained as dog handlers, and the various language capacities of the team members. When choosing the number of advocates to deploy, other things you may want to consider include their location in the city, particularly if they are responding after hours or over the weekend. You may also want to consider the number of advocates that you're deploying at any given time. If you anticipate that the response will last more than one operational period, you may want to limit the number of advocates that you send out at any given time. Make sure to communicate all of this information to the person that you're assigning the role of team lead. They'll be the one who's responsible for coordinating and supervising the advocates on scene.
Coordinating deployment. The notification may come from various agencies that we'll go through in this webinar. For each of these agencies, there is a specific procedure and communication guideline for activating our agency.
The notification of an incident could come from any of the following agencies: the Department of Emergency Management, the Human Services Agency, the Department of Public Health, the San Francisco International Airport, the Unified School District, or any partner county in the Bay Area Mass Casualty Planning Committee. The Department of Emergency Management's Department Head Alert System will notify the Chief and Deputy Chief of the Victim Services Division of any incident.
The Department of Emergency Management responds to both man-made and natural disasters. The alert coming from the Department of Emergency Management's Department Head Alert System may notify agencies of both man-made and natural disasters. Please call the duty officer line to confirm if the incident is in our scope of work. The duty officer line, as well as other important emergency contacts, are provided in the contact list in SharePoint.
If this is an incident that our team will respond to, call the DEM duty officer line to confirm the receipt of the notification and gather more information on the incident type. This information will help you choose the appropriate staff who can respond. Please ask the following questions to the duty officer to gauge the needed resources. What is known at this point about the number of victims and witnesses? This information should inform how many advocates we send in the first deployment. On average, for each victim of an incident, both those who are injured and those who are casualties, we should assume that there will be 7 loved ones that will require assistance. For example, if there are 5 victims, and we anticipate there are 7 loved ones for each of those victims, we can anticipate that there will be 35 people in need of assistance at the Family Reunification or Family Assistance Center. Are there victims or witnesses who need interpretation services? If so, in what languages and approximately how many? The team roster will include language capacity of each of the advocates. Where is the Family Reception Center and what agencies have been activated? How can we get to the center, and will there be a perimeter set up that we will need to be let through? You'll want to ensure that the FRC is in a safe location and that staff will not be sent into an active crime scene. And finally, has the Emergency Operations Center been established? If so, would it be appropriate to send our agency representative to collaborate at the ESF 6 Mass Care and Shelter table?
The San Francisco Human Services Agency acts as the lead agency for the Emergency Support Function 6 Mass Care and Shelter, located in the Emergency Operations Center. The Department of Public Health is seated at ESF 6 as well. The Human Services Agency chooses and sets up the Family Resource Center and the Family Assistance Center, and the Department of Public Health deploys staff to those centers. If activated through the Human Services Agency or the Department of Public Health, contact the DEM duty officer. You will be notifying them of our team's deployment and including the following information: the estimated time of arrival, the number of staff deployed, and if applicable, number of assistance dogs deployed.
The Level 1 EOC activation alert from the San Francisco International Airport will alert our team that we need to deploy. All Level 1 EOC activation alerts will require immediate victim services activation. The Victim Services Chief will report immediately to the Airport Emergency Operations Center at SFO to obtain further incident details and prepare to deploy staff. VSD will be acting in a support function when responding to an incident at SFO. This means we will be given our job duties and responsibilities based off of the coordinating body's plan. Once you arrive to the SFO EOC, you will want to ask the following questions. What is known at this point about the number of victims and witnesses? Are there any victims or witnesses who need interpretation services? And if so, what languages and approximately how many? Where is the Family Reception Center and what agencies have been activated? What services or roles should our advocates fill in the victim response? And how can we get to the center, and will there be a perimeter set up that we will need to be let through? If activated through SFO, contact the San Francisco DEM duty officer line and notify them of our team's deployment. Please include the following information: the number of staff deployed, and if applicable, the number of assistance dogs deployed.
The San Francisco Unified School District has an internal protocol to responding to school incidences. The Director of Crisis Response and Emergency Preparedness will be the initial coordinator of services for mass crime incidents. VSD will be acting in a support function when responding to an incident at USD. All this means is that we will be given job duties and responsibilities based off of the coordinating body's plan. Please ask the following questions to the Director of Crisis Response and Emergency Preparedness when they are activating our team. What is known at this point about the number of victims and witnesses? Are there victims or witnesses who need interpretation services? If so, in what languages and approximately how many? Has reunification of children and their families already happened? If not, where should our team go to provide de-escalation services for parents waiting at these locations? Where is the Family Reception Center, and what agencies have been activated? What agency has taken the lead in the center coordination? How can our team get to the center, and will there be a perimeter set up that we will need to be let through? If activated through the Unified School District, contact the San Francisco DEM Duty Officer line and notify them of our team's deployment. Please include the following information: the estimated time of arrival, and the number of staff deployed, and if applicable, number of assistance dogs deployed.
The counties who have signed the Mass Casualty Crimes Response Mutual Aid MOU will be able to deploy one another as mutual aid. If a county has a mass casualty crime incident occur, they will call a mutual aid partner of their choice to act as the mutual aid point of contact. That contact will send a text out to the other BAM-CPC counties, Cal-VCB, and Cal-OES to let them know that they are tracking mutual aid availability, and for BAM-CPC counties to check their email. If our office is activated, we will be acting in a support function when responding to an incident out of county. This means that we will be given our job duties and responsibilities from the affected county. In the email from the mutual aid point of contact, they will ask for the number of advocates you have available to deploy, what services and resources your team is able to provide, and the times that the resources and advocates are available. For example, are they available today, tomorrow, or any time in the future? The mutual aid point of contact will collate all of that information and send it to the affected county. The affected county will then confirm the resources that they need and provide the following information if applicable: the time that mutual aid is needed, what jobs advocates will perform on site, the estimated time of the end of the deployment period, and the contact information for the on-scene affected county coordinator. If our team is activated through the Bay Area Mutual Aid MOU, you'll contact the San Francisco DEM duty officer and notify them of our team's deployment. Please include the following information: the number of staff deployed, and if applicable, the number of assistance dogs deployed, the deployment location, and what agency deployed us.
Update the Mass Casualty Crimes Response Team. Send a message to the advocates you have selected to deploy with the following information: where is the meetup location for the deploying team and for DAI, and what time the team will depart. Our team will always deploy to an incident with DAI. DAI and advocates will meet at an identified location to transport together to the incident scene.
Alerting interagency partners. If deployed, you'll want to notify the executive staff of the San Francisco District Attorney's Office. Please send the following pre-populated text message and email to the following people: the District Attorney, the District Attorney's Executive Assistant, the Chief Administrative and Financial Officer, the Assistant Chief of Finance and Administration, and the Public Information Officer for the San Francisco District Attorney's Office. The template email below will need to be completed with the location our advocates are deploying to, as well as the names of the staff who are deploying.
If deployed, you'll also want to touch base with the other responding agencies. Send the pre-populated text and email to the following agencies: the Salvation Army, the Red Cross, the Department of Public Health, and the Human Services Agency. The template email will be provided in the Mass Casualty Crimes Response Team checklist for the EOC representative located in SharePoint.
Heading to the EOC, make sure you grab your laptop and go bag and head to the specified Emergency Operations Center depending on the agency who is deploying us. See below for the pre-identified EOC addresses.
For additional directions for the San Francisco International Airport, please see SharePoint for the T2 Partnering Room direction page.
Coordinating with external partners. There's a pre-populated email that we have created to send to partners to inform them that we're responding and share incident information that we have collected. The Bay Area United Way, or 211, operates a free 24-hour referral resource for people in need of assistance. During a mass casualty crime incident, many victims, witnesses, and family members will need information on assistance center locations and the resources that are available at those locations. Victim Services will send a text and an email to the identified United Way contacts. These contacts are available on the contact sheet in your EOC binder and on SharePoint. If the designated contacts have not confirmed receipt of the information within 20 minutes, our EOC representative will call the 211 call center directly to inform them of the center's location.
The San Francisco General Hospital will receive trauma patients in the event of a mass casualty crime incident. You will text a notification and will email a completed information form to the designated SF General contact. It's important to provide this information to ensure communication is clear among all responding partners. Friends and family who are looking for their loved ones may show up at the hospital. We want to share the information of the Family Resource Center's location with the hospital so that they can point the friends and family back to the FRC in order to receive proper resources.
After receiving all of the information regarding the deployment, message all of the victim services staff members of which advocates are deploying and for how long. Let them know that they may need to provide coverage and refer to the advocacy supervisors who have stayed back from the response. Additionally, if there has been a notice of a second potential deployment from the activating partners, send a request to the remaining mass casualty crimes team members who have not been activated for the first deployment in order to gauge the availability for the coming hours and days.